Imagine a prosthesis that doesn't just move, but feels. For years this has been the holy grail of prosthetic technology. Modern devices are incredibly advanced, but can they truly bring back the sense of touch, or is that still science fiction? Brendan Prestwood lost his left forearm in a work accident. After 4 years of using a body-powered prosthesis, he volunteered for a groundbreaking research project with an ambitious goal to restore the sense of touch.
Pinky. Index.
That's not bad.
And as you can see,
that's my fingers. I'm feeling my fingers that I don't have anymore. I'm feeling them.
It worked. So how did they make this possible? The researchers implanted tiny electrodes directly into the medianus and ulnar nerves, the same nerves that once carried the sensation from the real hand. These electrodes were then connected to the sensors in the fingertips of the prosthetic hand. Whenever a prosthetic finger touches something, the electrodes send a signal to those nerves, creating the illusion of touch in the user's phantom hand. But here's the interesting part. What exactly do they feel? Is it a gentle pressure, a tap, a tingling sensation? The answer is they can't fully control it yet. Researchers believe the sensation depends on which nerve fibers are stimulated, and the exact spot where the feeling appears on the phantom hand, that varied too. But it was accurate enough for the user to tell which finger was being touched.
It doesn't feel exactly like my right hand. It's a tingling sensation. It's not painful. It's kind of like if your hand's been to sleep, right at the end, right before it wakes up, for me, it's pleasant. It's a pleasant tingling.
Of course, the big question was, does this restored sense of touch actually improve function? The researchers put it to the test. In classic tasks, like the box and blocks test, the difference was small. After all, the test is about speed, not precision. But when they swapped the blocks for something fragile, like an egg that mustn't break, the results were mind-blowing.
I can feel that.
With touch feedback, the egg stayed intact far more often. And when it came to telling the difference between a soft foam block and a hard one, easy, no hesitation. A prosthesis that doesn't just move, but feels. Not all solutions are this invasive. Some prostheses take a much simpler approach. For example, in this design, the fingertips still have sensors, but instead of using implanted electrodes, the feedback is delivered through tiny vibration motors inside of the socket. This way the user feels where and how much pressure is being applied.
We have touch sensors that relay that information back to your brain through a vibration motor so that when you actually touch an object, you can feel it.
It's easier to implement and far more practical for everyday use than surgical implants. But one research took a completely different route. Instead of placing electrodes in the arm, they implanted them in the spinal cord. A pacemaker-like device stimulates the spinal cord in the right spot, normally to block pain signals. But here's what they discovered. If you stimulate the lateral nerve pathways responsible for the distal limbs, you can actually create phantom sensations. For chronic pain patients, that was an unwanted side effect, but for amputees, a possible advantage. In 4 test subjects, phantom sensations were successfully created. However, just like with any other implantation method, the sensations were imperfectly controllable. The location varied, and the feeling itself, pressure, tingling, vibration, was different for every person. No, feeling is one thing, movement is another. To this day, no prosthetic hand can truly replicate the fine motor skills of a natural hand, not even close. Here's a major challenge. The higher the amputation, the fewer muscles are left to control more joints. A transhumeral amputee needs to control the elbow, wrist and fingers, but has very limited muscle signals available. Or do they? Enter the world of targeted muscle renovation, or TMR. This technique takes the motor nerves that used to control the amputated muscles and reassigns them to new muscles, often located in the chest. Electrodes placed on these reinnervated muscles pick up the new signals. So when the user thinks about closing the hand, they contract a chest muscle and the prosthetic hand responds. This even allows shoulder disarticulation patients to control multiple joints with precision despite losing the original muscles. It also reduces phantom pain because the nerves finally have a job again. A real win-win situation. Currently, myoelectric hand prostheses are the standard. But what about legs? Surprisingly, fully myoelectric leg prostheses are still more science fiction than reality. At MIT, Hugh Hurst's team is changing that. They are developing a prosthetic foot that, like an arm prosthesis, responds to muscle signals for natural active movement. Imagine climbing stairs with a foot that pushes off like a real one, or wiggling your prosthetic foot without even thinking about it. One tester even casually shook his prosthetic foot while chatting. Combine this with sensory feedback and we are talking about the true quantum leap in mobility. And the next step, bringing the knee into the game. The Bionic Utah leg is an active power generating knee, controlled by an adaptive software. Unlike current knees that would require mode switching, are mostly completely passive or other limitations. This system predicts the user's intentions and adjusts itself in real time. This is science fiction put into practice. And suddenly, the current prosthetics look a lot more like science fiction that we have ever imagined. If you are a prosthetist or an orthotist wanting to level up your biomechanical understanding of the gait cycle, click on this video. Here we are going through every single gait phase and what O&P knowledge is critical to know. I hope you learned something today. See you in the next one at Got It.